Hey guys, it's Melissa. Today's video is all about my flawless foundation routine. This is the routine that I do every single day, and I also use it for nights out. I would just add a little bit more to it. So it's this look on my face right now. Flawless foundation, not too cakey, just right. If you want to see how to get this, then keep watching and I will show you. So the first thing I like to do is prime. I prime with a primer and a primer water. This is something I've only started to do recently, but I really like what it does. This is very similar to MAC Fix Plus, although you can get this in New Look for like a $5, so it's a little bit more of a bargain. It's the Refresh and Prep Skin Refreshing Spray, and I just spritz a little bit on my face and then I will apply my primer. This is the primer I love to use, super affordable. It's the Barry M Flawless Original Primer, and I'll just put this mostly focused on the T-zone area but across the rest of the face as well, and this should keep oils at bay all day long.
Sometimes I apply my primer with my hands and other times I use a brush. Today I am using the Cheetah brush, and I like this because if I apply too much product, this brush will soak up a little bit of it and it just disperses it across my face perfectly. Moving on to foundation, I am using the Lynx foundation brush, and my favourite foundation is the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 220. It's just the perfect colour for me, and I just like to buff this in using circular motions and buffing motions until it's flawless across the face. Moving on to concealer, I need concealer because I feel like it just adds another layer. Because I'm not using the most full coverage foundation, I still want a flawless base, so I feel like concealer really helps me achieve this. And I use the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the shade number 3. I just love this. It's super full coverage and it does exactly what you want. You can use a lighter shade if you want an even more highlighted effect, but I'm sort of using this as a highlighter and for extra coverage as well. And I'm using the brush, the Magic Hat, because it's super small and kind of dense and does the perfect job at buffing it out. So I apply it underneath my eyes, on my forehead, on my chin, down the center of my nose, and then I will buff this out and work it out until it's absolutely flawless. And you just want it to be seamless. You don't want to be able to see where the concealer starts and where the foundation starts. You want it to all blend perfectly together. So buff until you have the perfect blend. And because my skin is oily, I have to set my concealer in place. I don't want it to crease underneath my eyes or around my nose. So the Jungle Cat is the most perfect brush for this. It fits perfectly underneath my eyes. I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and I am packing this onto my face, down the center of my nose, on my chin, all those places where I applied concealer. And you might think I look a little bit crazy, but this is called baking. I'm going to leave this to sit for maybe 5 minutes. And then I'm going to wipe it all away. I'm using the Tiger brush. This is super fluffy and it just gets everything wiped out of place and blended back in perfectly without, any fuss. So with that exact same brush, I'm then using it to bronze. It's really big and fluffy, so it's the perfect brush for bronzing. I'm using MAC Give Me Sun, and I love this bronzer because it's really warm and does the perfect job at warming up the face. So I apply this around the perimeter of my face and down my jawline and down my neck to make sure all the colours match. So around my forehead, around my cheekbones, and then just across the rest of my face as well. A little bit on my nose because I don't want it to be too pale, but this just perfectly warms up my face. And then the final layer of my flawless base, I have to add a little bit of blusher. I'm using the leopard brush because it's the perfect size for blusher and I love it. So I just apply that onto the apples of my cheeks, and that is just about it. I'll add another little spritz of that spray just to refresh the skin and bring all those powders back to life, and that's the job done.
So I have just added some mascara and a lip, but this is my flawless foundation routine. I do this all the time and I add to it if I want it to be a little bit heavier, maybe for a night out, or I just leave it like this if it's during the day. If I was going to add to it, I'd add a little bit of contour, some highlight as well, and then dramatic eyes. But this is the routine that I do every single day because I can work on top of it. I can add a little bit less, a little bit more, and it always works. It's never cakey, it's always flawless, and that's exactly what you want. So I really hope you enjoyed the look. I will be back again for some more very soon. Bye guys.